Before we get started, I just want to say there is a puppy underneath my desk, so if you hear any licking or weird pig sounds, it is my dog. I apologize. And I've also gone from 100 subs to around 300 subs in like 2 days. Thank you so much to everybody that's subscribed and is watching this video right now. I really appreciate it. It seems like in the MMA YouTube scene, you have to follow a very specific formula to kind of get anywhere, and I haven't really been doing that with the thumbnails and stuff like that, and it's still kind of been working how I want to do it. So I really appreciate everybody that's sticking around. Had some really nice comments from everyone, so yeah, thank you very much, guys. I really appreciate it. No tier list today. Today we're just stealing from the weasel. Standard procedure. We're doing who do I think will be the UFC champions by the end of next year. It's November 2023 is coming to a close somehow. I don't understand how we're now 4 years on from lockdown. It's fucking crazy. But obviously we have a couple of surprise champions right now. You know, there's a very few people thought Sean Strickland would hold the middleweight belt at the end of this year. So it's a fun video to make. I have little notes on the screen, so I'm not looking down at my phone all the time. I'm improving. I'm becoming a proper YouTuber. Come on. I will sort the lighting out. I'm going to order one of those ring lights to kind of just sit here so I don't look like as much of a day walker. But yeah, man, let's start with the irrelevant ones. I'm kidding. Please don't come after me, women's MMA fans. You're very weird. Women's strawweight, Tatiana Suarez. Now, with a lot of these guys, I'm going to assume that they're going to be fighting twice. So, for example, this guy's going to be champion, and these are the two fights that he's going to have to become champion. Most fighters fight twice a year. Well, on this list, they do anyway at the top. Well, maybe not everybody, but you know what I mean. I think Tatiana Suarez had way too much time off, but she's back now, and that's what's important. She's a great wrestler. I think she gives everybody problems in that division. Weili has gotten very good with the grappling defense. You know, we saw that in the Esparza fights and stuff like that. She is improving, and obviously she improves every camp anyway. She's one of the best at improving from camp to camp. Henry Cejudo, all of that. I don't need to go into it. I just personally think Tatiana will edge out a decision. I think that she will actually be able to hold Weili down. She might get caught in the process, but that's all I think will happen. I think Tatiana Suarez will fight Weili next year, beat Weili and be the champ, and I don't think there'll be a second fight. I think by the end of 2024, that's the only title fight that's happened, and Tatiana Suarez is holding that crown. Next, women's flyweight, Aron Blanchard. That's my baby girl, man. I think she's going to smoke Shevchenko. I think Shevchenko is either slowing down or people have just figured her out. I'm not going to say she's a bad fighter. She's obviously great. One of the best women's fighters to ever exist. But for some reason, it seems like she's, as I said, either slowed down or these other fighters have just caught up to her. Finally, it is happening. We have competition for Shevchenko. She's lost the last two fights to Grasso. I know that last fight, people want to say it was a robbery. I had it to Grasso personally, 3-2. I think Aron Blanchard fights Shevchenko next. I'm not too sure if they'll throw her straight into a title fight. I haven't really heard any discussion about what's going on with Blanchard. But if they do throw her straight into a title fight, I think she'll beat Grasso and then maybe defend against Shevchenko. But if they make her fight Valentina first, I think she beats Valentina and then she beats Grasso and gets the belt. Next, women's bantamweight. Now, this one is very hard to predict because most of the women's bantamweight fighters are just, and I'm not trying to be a cunt when I say this, they're just very hit and miss, inconsistent, I will say. My pick, end of 2024, women's bantamweight champion, I'm going to go with Irene Aldana. Again, it's hard to predict this division. Honestly, anything can fucking happen. I'm just kind of throwing a name out there that I think might get it done against the top bantamweights. I don't see Pena getting it done. And yeah, I don't know. Irene Aldana, that's kind of my, I'm throwing that out there. Flyweight, I've got Alexandre Pantoja. I think if they give Brandon Royval the title shot, I think he beats Royval again. And I've got a feeling that Manel Kape might get thrown into the top three, you know, into a title shot with another win or two. So if he fights Brandon Royval, I think he beats him again. And then I think he defends again against Manel Kape. And I think he beats Manel Kape again. I think Pantoja is just the best flyweight in the division. I've thought that for a little bit now. So, you know, my opinion doesn't change going into this new year. I think he's just as good as he's ever been. And I think he gets those two defenses against Brandon Royval and then Manel Kape. Bantamweight. Now, I can admit this is a little bit biased because he is one of my favorite fighters, but I also do believe in him enough to actually mean this when I say it. Bantamweight champ, end of 2024, Cory Sandhagen. Now, I don't know what they're doing with Cory Sandhagen because I know he was scheduled to fight Umar, but that all fell through. I'm not too sure what they're trying to book him with. But let's say if he fights Cejudo or Merab next, right? O'Malley and Cheeto has been made. It's only safe to assume that Cory fights another top contender. Cejudo and Merab are right there. Maybe they give him Sterling, but I think Sterling is actually deciding to move up now, which is the best thing for him, I think. So I think Cory beats Cejudo or Merab, and I know Merab is a tough fight for anyone, but I believe in this guy. I know his IQ is through the roof, and over the years my favorite fighters have always been the smart fighters. It still is to this day. I've been let down very few times when going with the smarter fighter, and I think ultimately Cory will game plan around either one of those guys. I think Henry's too small, and I pray that he can at least do something against Merab to at least win a boring decision. If Merab's going to shoot 400 takedowns around, then please catch him with something along the fence, hit him, cut him, each round, just win the round, even just win 3 rounds. I think Cory can win 3 rounds against Merab to edge the decision is what I'm saying, and I think he probably finishes Cejudo. I don't know how though. And then whether it's O'Malley or Cheeto, I think he gets the title shot after that, and I think he beats both of them. He obviously just smoked Cheeto, and I think he beats O'Malley as well. I think he just wrestles him, to be honest. I think he gives him the illusion that it's going to be a striking match for half of the first round, maybe throw a couple wild things, but stay safe, and then I think he'll shoot. And I think it will just be, people won't be happy about it, but that's how you got to fight O'Malley, bro. Featherweight. Now, this is a hard one. I think that Topuria is going to beat Volk, and I know how I hate saying it. I think Topuria is going to beat Volk, and I think Volk might permanently move up to lightweight, or he might retire, because I can't see Volk fighting another featherweight contender to try and get back to the belt, unless they just give him an instant rematch against Topuria, which they might. But even then, if you have Volk, Topuria 1 and 2. I think Topuria wins both of those. So this is why I'm saying this pick. I think featherweight champion at the end of 2024 is going to be Max Holloway. Max is talking about maybe fighting Gaethje at lightweight, so maybe this won't happen. But I think Max beats Topuria. I think Topuria beats Volk. And I think Volk beats Max. We've had these sort of triangles at the top of the divisions for decades now in every sport, not just MMA, but boxing as well. There's always a guy that beats that guy. You can beat him, but the guy that he beat can also beat you. It's just the way it is. Stars make fights. I think Max Holloway beats Topuria. Topuria comes in and fights Holloway like he fought Josh Emmett. I think he gets snowballed out of that fight. And if he comes in swinging, I think Max can deal with it long enough to kind of out-cardio him. I can just see Max winning. Obviously, I'm not going to break down the whole fight here. So Volk fights Topuria, loses, moves up to lightweight is what I think. Topuria fights Max and loses, with Max being the champ at the end of 2024. Lightweight, Islam Makhachev. Very hard to pick against him. He looks amazing right now. I think he beats Stu Bronx in the rematch. Again, hate to say it, but it's hard to pick against Islam right now. He's just done what he did to Volk, and he looks great, honestly. He looks amazing right now. And then I think he beats Gaethje if they give Gaethje that title shot. But a lot of moving parts have to happen for this to occur, because Gaethje's talking about fighting Holloway, and even Benoit Saint Denis is now calling out Gaethje for the BMF belt. If Islam wants to fight Charles Oliveira and wants to wait until the end of next year to fight, I'm not sure if Gaethje's going to wait. So assuming that Gaethje maybe gets one more fight in the meantime and wins it and gets the title shot at the end of next year, I think Islam beats him. So that's 2 defenses in 2024 for Islam. It's always like Abu Dhabi late in the year and then like a random card earlier in the year. Welterweight, I've got Colby Covington. I think he beats Leon. I don't think it's an easy pick to make. I just look at that the second Usman fight with Leon, and I really worry about that, because yeah, he got the head kick in the 5th round, and yes, he could do something similar to Colby. Colby got dropped so many times against Usman, hurt so many times, and Usman isn't Leon, you know. So this isn't a confident pick, but I just think Colby beats Leon. Maybe a decision, I'm not sure. I don't think he finishes him. So if Colby beats Leon, I think he then defends maybe against Bilal. Again, moving parts have to happen. They could give somebody like Shavkat the match, and then I think Shavkat wins. But I don't think they'll do Colby Shavkat as his first defense. They might, I don't know. That might be me being optimistic, or not optimistic, but me being ignorant to how much the UFC want Shavkat in the title shot. But I think they would want Colby to hold that belt for a little bit. Not only for the Trump reasons and all that kind of stuff, but he's a big draw. He talks a lot of shit. I want Colby as champion. I just hate that it has to be Leon who he has to beat for it, because I like Leon as well. Yeah, I think he beats Leon, and then he defends against like a Bilal Muhammad or something like that, and I think he beats him. I think they're going to give him a relatively easy first defense. And Bilal does deserve a title shot at the end of the day, so let's mention that as well. Bilal has actually earned the title shot. Middleweight. Now, this one, again, is not a confident pick, but I've got Khamzat Chimaev. I would love to pick Strickland against Khamzat, and honestly, the Abus Magomedov fight and then watching Khamzat gas against the fucking 2-week notice Usman, honestly, yeah, it does give me confidence for Strickland, but I think Strickland goes out and he beats Du Plessis, and then I think he fights Khamzat as the next defense, and I think Khamzat beats him. Again, not a super confident pick. If it's not Khamzat, I think it will be Strickland, but I just don't know who he defends against if it isn't Khamzat. To be fair, I can see Strickland maybe beating Cannonier in a rematch. I'm not too sure. He's kind of thrown the whole division on its head at this point. But I'm going to go with Khamzat Chimaev. I think Strickland goes out there and beats Du Plessis in a 5-round decision, and then I think Khamzat beats Strickland as the next defense and takes the belt for the champion at the end of the year. Light heavyweight. Now, this one may be controversial, but I'm going to go with Jamal Hill. I think he's going to return. Now, he could be another one that has one fight in the year. Obviously, he's coming back from an injury. If him and Alex have a war, which I don't think it may necessarily be a war. A lot of Powertown fans are watching this, shaking their head and giving me the fucking bow and arrow to the screen. Relax, boys. I like Alex just as much as everybody else. I respect Jamal Hill's skills so much. I remember when he went on Ariel's show, rest in peace to fucking him and Ariel's friendship. He went on Ariel's show before the Glover fight and he was saying, listen, I think I'm top of the world caliber. I think I'm one of the best in the world. I think I'm championship material. And if I really am that, then I'm going to go in there and do it. And if I'm not, then I want to know that. If I go in and Glover smokes me, I'm okay with that. I want to know that is my level, that I'm not good enough to hang with these guys, but I truly think I am. And he went out there and absolutely butchered Glover. Jamal Hill won me as a fan, man. I'm a fan of his YouTube stuff. I should have really put him in yesterday's tier list. But shout out Jamal Hill, bro. I think he's going to get it done against Alex. I didn't really like how much Yuri was landing on Alex. I know that Jamal isn't Yuri with his awkwardness and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily think you have to be super awkward and unpredictable to land on Alex. It's MMA. He says he's going to stand and bang, but I would like to think he would at least clinch those knees to the body. I think he could do some work against Alex. Obviously, Alex is a world-class kickboxer. It's not a super solid, confident pick. It's one of them. If Pereira wins, I wouldn't be like super angry with it. You know, I like both guys. I just think Jamal Hill takes that fight. That might be the only fight, the only light heavyweight title fight of 2024. But let's say he defends against maybe Yuri, Walker, or Ankalaev. I think he beats all three of those guys. I think he beats Yuri similar to Glover. I think he just pieces him up. The boxing's too clean, the head kicks. I think he'd win against Yuri. He's already KO'd Walker. I think he'd beat Walker again, even with Walker's new, wrestling style. I think the power's just too much. And Ankalaev, I think he would just low kick him. And the formula to beat Ankalaev is pretty much out there at this point. Although I am very high on Ankalaev. If it's not Jamal Hill, it's Ankalaev, I think. I think Pereira loses the belt next year, either way. Then heavyweight, finally, we're going to go with Tommy Aspinall. My current favorite fighter on the whole roster. You know, I'm not just being a little glory supporting bitch. I think Tom Aspinall, he is saying that he's not going to fight Cyril Gane and that he's instead going to fight Stipe and then fight Jones. In an ideal world, I would love for that to happen, and I think he beats both of those guys anyway, but I don't think that will happen. I think he will end up fighting Cyril Gane as much as he doesn't want to, because I don't think he'll want to sit out. Jones will be stubborn. Stipe will be stubborn. As soon as he realizes he can't sort of get those fights, I think he'll say, fuck it, all right, give me Cyril. I think he beats Cyril Gane. I think he takes him down and subs him, to be honest, or just smashes his head in on the floor with ground and pound. And then I think he either defends against Almeida if Jones and Stipe have fought and retired. If they're already gone, I think he fights Almeida and he beats Almeida. But if Jones actually steps up and fights him, and I don't mean steps up because I respect Jones as a fighter, he is the best, the GOAT in my opinion, but I do think he really doesn't want to fight Aspinall. I'm not saying he's scared of Aspinall, I'm saying he would rather fight Stipe and dip. But I tell you what, if Tom Aspinall has 3-4 more years at the top, he's going to clear Jones for that heavyweight GOAT spot very easily. So if Jones is really about this legacy shit, he fights Stipe, beats Stipe and says, hey, listen, I was going to retire. Somebody out there's earned the shot. People have saying this guy's the best heavyweight in the world. He moves so fast. I've heard it all before. Let me fight him, I'll beat him, and then I'm gone. And if he smokes Tom Aspinall, I don't want to hear nobody ever fucking talking anything about no GSP or Anderson Silva again. Love all of those guys at the top. The GOAT conversation is a great conversation, but I think Jones clears it. You can't talk about I don't include PEDs because then Anderson Silva's gone, and then you're talking about, oh, well, the greatest of all time is GSP or Jose Aldo. Listen, Jose Aldo may be top 5, top 6. He's not one of the top 2 MMA fighters of all time. He's just not. We all love him. Jose Aldo's a great fighter. He did amazing things in this sport, but he is nowhere near John Jones, in my opinion. Neither is Khabib, neither is Islam, neither is Alex Pereira, neither is Charles Oliveira or Izzy or whoever else you want to say in this modern era. You have to understand, Jones was fighting in the UFC and beating the top guys while you lot didn't even fucking know what MMA was. You can say anything you want about GSP and Silva. I love both of them, right? And they're great arguments to have. But at the end of the day, Silva lost multiple times in his prime. Before he was washed, he lost. GSP did avenge his loss against Matt Serra. And, you know, I have no really quarrels with anyone saying GSP is one of the best of all time, probably the best. If you want to argue anybody, I think it's Jones and GSP. I don't think Silva's there. I think he takes the number 3 spot no matter how you have number 1 and 2. So there we go, a quick run through the list. Heavyweight Tom Aspinall, light heavyweight Jamal Hill, middleweight Khamzat Chimaev, welterweight Colby Covington, lightweight Islam Makhachev, featherweight Max Holloway, bantamweight Cory Sandhagen, flyweight Alexandre Pantoja, women's bantamweight Irene Aldana, question mark. Women's flyweight Aron Blanchard, exclamation mark, bitch. And women's strawweight Tatiana Suarez. Pretty confident in that one as well. I just don't know. If she can't hold down Weili probably fucking absolutely slumps her. Thank you so much for putting up another one of my videos with this grainy ass camera. Really appreciate everybody that stuck around from the last couple of videos. Honestly, I'm just checking the views on it every 5 seconds, like instant fucking dopamine watching all the lovely comments, the likes, the views, like, you know, I really appreciate it. Everybody knows how fucking rough it is to be posting YouTube videos and getting 7 views when you put in a lot of effort in. So, you know, I'm very grateful for everybody that's given me the chance to, you know, be on their homepage and watching my videos and stuff. Happy to be in your little circle of creators you watch. Yeah, I don't know, I'm talking shit. My name's Harry, I talk about fights. Bang, there's a picture of fucking, I don't know what. I'm just going to put some random shit on the screen. Thank you very much for watching, boys. Appreciate it. And just a little bonus thing, I think I'm going to go live tonight for the card. It's not a very special card, you know, but I'm a big Bear Jew fan. I want to see him do well. Might be live tonight as a fight companion. Obviously, I'm not... I think I'm going to go live and do a fight companion at the prelims around that time. I'm not too sure how it's going to go, to be honest, but if you see me live tonight, pop in and say hello. Let's all cheer for Bear Jew, man. Yeah, appreciate everybody. Go tell your friends you love them. Go make some food if you haven't eaten, drink some water, all of that. You know what I'm saying? Standard shit, bro. Love you.